Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Needles at the Ready podcast. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ray.
Today is Saturday, January 21st, 2023, and this is episode 78.
Wow, really?
I'm pretty confident. I know I just looked, but I forgot. Yes, 78.
Wow.
So, welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Tomorrow's my dad's birthday, so happy birthday, Dad.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us on this fine Saturday morning. We've already had breakfast, we've got our workouts in, and we're ready to go.
Salud.
Cheers. This is my mug from Nope.
Scrappy Angel?
No. This is my mug from Knit Swag.
Sure is. This is my mug from, I'm not quite sure.
It's Polly
something.
Something. We got those at Rhinebeck.
Yep.
That's a Discovery of Witches.
It is. And this is Matthew de Clermont's sigil. Or
it's
seal.
Seal, right? Whatevs. So hope you guys had a good 2 weeks.
The coffee is too sweet.
I feel like we did. I feel like it's been... I feel like we're back to normal. Like a normal routine.
I think the microphone's too far away.
Okay, we'll move it up.
I am.
There you go, princess.
Here we go. Let's see how far we can get it without being in the frame. Whoop, there it is. Salute.
Right? I feel like the past 2 weeks we're finally back to normal. Like a normal flow to our daily stuff. Like daily life.
Yeah. What's normal, though?
No, I'm saying
No, I get it.
You know, we're back to...
Like routines and stuff.
Yeah, we're back to having a good routine. We're back to trying to eat well, move around a little bit more, just kind of back into the flow. The end of the year last year was just...
Chaotic.
October to January was just... the end of December was a lot. So I think we're back to norms, kind of.
Back in the saddle.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
So let's...
The dreams are your ticket out. Do you remember that show?
No.
Welcome Back, Kotter?
No, I've never watched it.
Oh, Nick at Night was like the best.
Me too, but like my Nick at Night. So I would watch Nick at Night with my mom. Mm-hmm. And then it was...
That's sweet.
Yeah, so it would be like when Bewitched was on.
Yes, definitely did that too. And then they had that Block Party Summer.
I have no
Remember
idea.
where like Mondays was all like I Dream of Jeannie, Tuesdays...
Yeah,
I'm just making it up, but like Tuesdays was all like Bewitched Say, and then... I felt old once they brought Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to Nick
and
at
Roseanne.
Night. Oh yeah, I forgot about
that.
Yeah, that made me feel old. And then I think I stopped watching Nick at Night. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore.
I don't know. We don't watch TV. That's why we canceled our cable.
We did. We cut the cord.
We got rid of our cable and our, like, you know how like they do the bundle, the home phone, cable, internet. We got rid of the cable and the phone and decreased our bill by like $200.
I know.
More
Can
yarn.
you imagine why? Like
kidding.
What gluttons we are to like be spending that much money a month on services that we don't need.
But we are trying out YouTube TV.
We are.
Just because it's college basketball season. So once it's over, we'll cancel it and then we'll sign up again when basketball season starts in November.
It's like a third of the price.
Yeah. Oh, so much better. So anyways, so our 2 weeks have been good. Hope yours has. Let's see kind of what we've done over the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
We, last weekend, had a pretty busy weekend.
It was. And it was kind of a last minute thing.
It was very last minute.
Yeah.
So don't turn.
Oh no. Mine's still... Oh, now mine turned.
Okay. So last weekend, we did
Just
a whole
hit the
bunch.
undo button. See that little thing?
We did a whole bunch in like one day.
Good job.
So we were just, farting around on the Insta and we saw that Jake from Ken Yarn, we knew that he was doing a trunk show.
Right.
But then I saw him post that he was in Connecticut.
I know.
So I was like, what? In Niantic. So we were like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So we decided to travel to Niantic to see Jake. It's the first time that we've met him. Like we've seen him at fiber events before.
I feel like we've had a picture taken in like a group picture with him in it and just never had a conversation.
Possibly not. So we went to, it's Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
What a fun show.
Niantic. Mm-hmm. They just opened in August. The brick and mortar. They used to run like a traveling yarn store prior to the pandemic. And they couldn't, so they started shipping orders, and then that allowed them to open up this brick and mortar. So it's a very, very lovely store. And it had yarns that we don't see at our typical like stores that we head to around here. So it was nice to see some new yarns. It was great to speak with Jake and get some of his yarn. So we didn't break our diet because it was a fiber event.
We consider that a fiber event.
So that was really nice. It was a nice drive. It's only about maybe like an hour from us.
Yeah.
Maybe
hour,
a little
hour
bit more.
5, hour 10, something like that.
And since we were in the area, we decided to hit up the Mohegan Casino, Mohegan Sun, and spent a couple hours there, had some Johnny Rockets, played some slots, and had a good time.
Yes, I won some money.
You did?
I actually had very good luck on the slots.
You did. I did not.
I know you didn't.
But we still came up ahead. We
did.
left ahead.
Yeah, but it's like you have to go into it with the thought that you're kind of paying for a good time. We enjoy that. We enjoy sitting there and like playing the slots and listening to like all the ding, 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 dings.
Yeah, it's just a nice time if you expect to just go and have some fun. We don't do it. We actually haven't done it since probably like 2019, maybe even 2018.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So,
and that's our favorite casino in Connecticut. There are 2 in Connecticut: Foxwoods and then Mohegan Sun. We enjoy Mohegan Sun.
Yeah, so it was.
We've been
really
there for concerts. Oh no, that was even before.
Yeah, we haven't been to a concert there since COVID.
Yeah, that was the last one we went to, Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, and then you're up.
Oh, and then I started school again. So I did decide to get right into a graduate program. And I was kind of debating which path I should take. And it made sense for me to work towards my MBA. So I got into an MBA program, which was really stressful, but it worked out really well. It's a very competitive program. It's a local college in Connecticut. It's a Connecticut college. And it's all online, but there are a lot of opportunities for networking, which I think is really great. So classes officially start tomorrow on the 23rd, but last week was preview week, so I got a chance to go through. And it's a really, I think it's going to be a manageable program for me because I'm taking one class at a time. They're 7-week courses, and it's all things that I'm like, very focused on. And I think there's none of those like those filler classes.
Yeah.
So this class I'm taking is diversity and inclusion, which is really interesting. I've already watched some, quite a few TED Talks and, read a lot of articles. It was really interesting stuff about, implicit bias and things like that. And I'm really enjoying it so far. And I like the idea that I'm back in school, and then this might be the end for me, but I may go for a PhD. I'm not sure.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm. You can call me Dr. Ray.
No, I will not. So I actually think that's pretty much been our 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's it. That's really it. It was Saturday. Last weekend was busy for us.
Yes,
which was nice. And then we just kind of.
Yeah,
I had a very tough week at work.
You did, yeah.
I did. I had a very tough week at work, and people say that Mercury was in retrograde. I don't know about that stuff, but that's what I'm blaming it all on. Everybody's behavior was just extreme.
All right.
So that's it. So that's where we are. You're all caught up now.
Let's talk about what we're wearing.
Yes, we're wearing some knits today. It's a little warm. We had the heat on to like 70 degrees while we were getting ready. Oh, when I shower, I don't like to get out of the shower.
I know, you're so sensitive to cold. So
I am. Our next house is going to have heated floors.
You always suggest moving to Canada. You would not survive in Canada.
I would, because I think that they have good heating in Canada. And then
we have poor heating?
No, but we have a 100-year-old house.
We do.
So, like...
She's old.
She is old. It's okay, though. She's got some good bones. But she's drafty at times. So I am wearing Vertices Unite by Stephen West. This is my most worn shawl. Yeah.
It's my go-to if I don't know what I want to wear. I have no idea what this is. This is...
Oh, you're going to try. Good for you.
Oh, crap. I know this is Words from Lolo Did It. It was a Harry Potter club.
That was, I think, one of our first clubs that we joined. It was.
This is... I don't know.
I don't know, but that's a beautiful color.
It is a beautiful color. It's one of my favorites. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and watch an episode because I've been creating project pages this year.
I know.
So I would like to go back and watch our old episodes and figure out what some of these things are and start creating project pages for some of my old stuff. But
I love how easy that shawl is to wear.
It's, if I don't know what shawl I want to wear, I grab this one.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them. It's the easiest shawl to wear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love
it's good for us. I'm wearing... an Opus set, which I'm really excited about. I'm probably going to take it off because the yarn is super warm. This is the Opus shawl by Max the Knitter, Maxim Sear, And he just released the Opus hat pattern, which I showed a couple of episodes ago, where I was lucky enough to test knit that. There's also an Opus cowl as well, which I haven't knit that, but I do have the pattern. The shawl is knit mosaic, so you're only working with one color at a time. And the hat is stranded color work, so you're working with 2 yarns at a time. I think at one point you work with 3. I'm not 100% sure or not. But the yarn is beautiful. It's Woolcott Opus, and I believe it's 70% Falkland Merino and 30% baby alpaca. So it's super soft. It's very squishy base, and it's super, super warm. I don't know if I'll remember the colors. Let's see. This one, so this is Ivy here. This purpley color is Plum. This is called Castle Rock, and this is Gray.
Very good.
Yep. And so I had had leftovers for the suggested yarn and the suggested amounts in the shawl. I used all of my leftovers to do the hat. So they're the same colors in the hat, just used a little bit differently. So for that little blip there is obviously the gray, and I think it looks really cool. I think it looks neat. I did put a pom-pom on it, which I'm going to take off, I think, because I like this hat slouchy, and I don't know if I feel like if I'm a slouchy pom-pom wearer in the back.
And that looks heavy, the pom-pom.
It is. I used the pom-pom maker and the rest of the gray yarn because I thought it looked really nice, and it does look really, really nice. But for me and my style, the way that I like to wear my hats, I don't think that I'm a slouchy pom-pom person. There are slouchy pom-pom people out there, which is great, but I'm not. I don't think I'm one of them. So I love this. One of my favorite parts of the shawl is the backside, which I think could probably be like
it's very
the main
graphic
side.
and fun.
Isn't that really neat?
Yeah,
I love how that looks. But this is really a really awesome shawl. And like I said, it is super, super warm. It's a great size because you can wear it underneath a jacket. It does tend to get a little bit bulky, though, because of the yarn. Because the yarn itself is...
good to know.
Yeah, is like kind of thick and squishy. I'm going to take it off, actually, because I am a little bit warm. And then with the hat, this is what Kevin was talking about with the pom-pom. It is a little floppy. I did not tie in the ends because my intention was to sew in a button there. So I just weaved in the ends a little bit just to secure them. But I didn't do anything with these. Like I didn't weave them all the rest or cut them because I was gonna adjust the pom-pom, see how I felt with it. But I do want to take it off. So I will take off the pom-pom, which is fine because the actual decreases, if you can see, look really neat.
Yeah, the decreases
like the
look
crown
nice.
Looks super cool, I think. So this is stranded color work, which looks really good. I used, I try to have this as my dominant color when I was knitting with it so that it did pop a little bit more. And then there's a stitch that you do in the pattern. I don't want to give it away because it's a pay-for pattern. That kind of pops this out a little bit more too, which gives it the look, I think, of the shawl.
Very nice.
So yeah. And I thought it was fun to put them together. Max and Vincent put out their most recent, they had a podcast that they put out, which is really nice. It's Happy Hour with Les Garçons. So it was nice. They talked a little bit about the hat. And I was very lucky to have been chosen as a test knitter. Isn't that fun? Look at that set. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a nice set.
Right? Yeah, I am going to take this little pom off.
Okay.
Maybe if I just keep wiggling it, it'll fall off and fly across the room. But the Clover pom-pom maker is really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's super easy to make a pom-pom.
Yeah, and that's what I use with this.
And they come in a set, so you get like 3 different sizes to make pom-poms.
Yep, totes.
So something else that we need to mention is that we are prize donors for the New to You Mal, which is hosted by the ladies over at Cocktail Hour at the Coop. I think it's their 5th year doing it.
Yeah.
This runs from January 1st through February 14th. Mm-hmm. And you just have to try something fiber related that's new to you, whether it's a new cast on, a new bind off, like a new heel or toe, or a new crochet stitch or something like that. Post
or
pictures.
A new craft like
weaving
or
spinning. And then you post your pictures on Instagram and use the hashtag
try some yarn dyeing.
New to You Mal 2023. And the prize donors, each prize donor is going to select their favorite, and you will win a prize from them. And then there will be a grand prize winner who wins something from each of the prize donors. So it's going to be a huge package. Check out their YouTube channel. Again, it's Cocktail Hour at the Coop. Liz and Leanne, they talk about it more on there.
Yeah, I can't do
that. And then last thing is somebody asked us in... Oh, no, there's two other things before we get into our projects. So one,
hold on one second. Back to the new to you. If you're watching this today on Saturday before 7 p.m., they're doing an open Zoom for people who are participating, which will be really cool, to log in and join everybody doing their new to you projects.
So next up is we're wondering if you all would like to see this. So
right.
We've seen Chevis over at Cheverell Stuff do this, and then Maddie and Kristen from We Share Needles, where they were sent a international snack or treat box. And so Chevis did a separate video with her friend Clint, and then Maddie and Kristen did it during a podcast episode. So they reached out to us and wanted to see if we'd be interested in doing it. So we would like to see if you would be interested in seeing us react to trying some international treats. And then nervous. If we would do that during an episode or just have a separate video. So give us your feedback.
I mean, our episodes are not very long anyway. So adding an additional segment would probably not be a problem.
So let us know. And if
I think we'll do it anyway. It's just how we decide that we want to.
Maybe. We'll see. And then last thing.
I'd like to try some treats.
Yeah, but we would have to record it. It's not just. So we would either do a separate episode.
That's my point. I think we'll just do it anyway. But how do you guys want to? How do you want to?
Oh, okay. And then lastly, somebody asked us how we met last time. I know it's been a while because normally that comes up during lives, and we haven't done a live in a while. So I figured we just say how we met. It was.
So I bailed Kevin out of jail. I'm just kidding.
No, it was January of 2020. No, that's a lie.
January.
That's such a lie. January of 2000.
Yes, 2000.
You were already at a local diner with your friends. I went to the diner with my friends, and we had a snowball fight outside.
Kevin and his friends had a snowball fight outside. And I saw him out the window. And I was like, well, he seems very interesting.
Because I was throwing snowballs.
Because you were, I don't know what it was. I think whatever the angels were singing or something. And so this was back. This was you had a halo, right? I don't know. You were a shapeshifter. So this was back in the day with instant messaging, like AIM. Yeah. Remember AIM, America Online Instant Messenger and stuff. I know that was like the jam. We all had our own little. Anyway, we can get distracted by this. So I probably come across that I'm, I don't know, not aggressive. What's the word I'm looking for? Social, maybe. I'm really not.
Neither one of us.
I
really
have
are.
some introvert. I think what's the word? It's like an extrovert, introvert, something like that.
I don't know.
Extrovertly introverted. Anyway,
extrovertly introverted.
I don't know. I made that up. That should be something. I'll write a paper on it. So. Anyway, I saw him. They were like having fun. It just seemed, I don't know what it was. And he came back inside, and they were sitting with their friends. And
it was on your way out.
It was on my way out, yeah, because I wasn't secure in myself at that point to like stick around and see what your reaction would be. But I wrote down my AIM name, and I think my phone number.
I think so.
On a piece of paper. And I don't know what got into me, and I walked up to him and I handed. Do you remember? Like, what was your reaction?
I don't remember. It was 23 years ago. That's a long time ago.
So I handed him the paper and I said,
"Did you say something?"
I think I said like, "I think you're really cute.
I don't know.
Call me or something." I don't know what got into me because that's not typically how I am.
It's not
at all. And that night he sent me an instant message.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
All right.
I think we've spent 1 week apart.
When I was in Texas?
When you were in Texas. For like 23 years that we were together.
All right. And that is the story of how we met. So now,
story of our
let's talk about some knitting.
Is that what we do here?
Yeah.
I'm wearing one more thing.
You are.
Does anybody recognize this logo? Woolens and Nosh. We forgot to show these. I don't know if we've worn these on the podcast
I don't
yet.
think we have.
Michelle was selling these t-shirts, and I think she still has them in her shop. She was selling these long sleeve t-shirts at Woolen Folk.
Yeah.
When we saw them, and I think we got very distracted on yarn fumes and buying all of her other yarn. That we had the intention of buying them there, but then I think we missed the opportunity, and we sent her a message shortly after, and we were able to get 2 of them.
Yes.
So I love them. They're super comfortable.
I know.
I think they're still in her shop. I'm not sure. I shouldn't be speaking of things that I don't know.
All right, so now let's talk about some yarn stuff. I have 2 FOs.
Why do you look?
I have like 3, but possibly 4-ish whips.
Your FOs
that's
are
a
hard
lie.
to count.
I have 5. I have 4, possibly 5 whips. So
I have 2 finished objects, and I have 2 active works in progress.
All right. I'll go first.
I can whatever you want.
All right. So first up, I finished my Drifter shawl by Tammy Gore.
Yes, Tammy Gore.
Right? Mm-hmm. So this again, my brother asked us to knit a scarf for my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law.
Which he really means.
He really meant a shawl.
Shawl.
So we both knit the same one. Ray showed it in
Drifter by Tammy Gore. Oh, I think the paper
it
cuts back on the reflection.
Yeah.
We got paper
for our iPads. So I knit the 2-color. I actually ended up using 4 colors in mine. The pattern does have a 2-color version and a 3-color. I tried to add a pop of color, which didn't work out, but then I ran out of one of my yarns, so I had to add a 4th color. I was living in my Twinkle and Twilight bag, and the yarn that I used was...
This bag has lasted a very long time. This is one of your first bags. I bought this for you for Christmas.
My main color is from Sweet Georgia. It's their Tough Love sock in Windswept. 80-20, right? Yes, 80-20. Then I also used some yarn from Lolo Did It called Lady Sybil's Dress, which was an 85-15. And then I used another yarn, which I don't know. This was my 4th yarn. I don't know what this is.
It's got a lot of fun colors in it.
And then this was another yarn. This was,
Owl?
No, this is Lady Sybil's Dress.
Oh.
Okay. And this is what I had left of my main color. Trash.
Good to the last drop.
So here we are.
Let me help.
Here. Yeah. So this blue is the Sweet Georgia. This beige with speckles is Lady Sybil's Dress. This is the unknown color. And somewhere in here is pistachio from...
Is this?
No, it's here. And then in here, which you cannot tell, it looks just like Lady Sybil's Dress. The way that it's broken up is pistachio from Hugh Loco. So here is my version.
It's really lovely.
So you start here,
yeah,
and you increase. And you keep increasing.
And you have these cool slip stitch.
Yeah, you have some mosaic knitting here, here. So the mosaic knitting kind of repeats itself. There's another section here, but you change your main color.
Mm-hmm. But each section gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah. So that is my Drifter. What is this? Oh, you know what? I'm such a schmuck. I used 5 colors. I grabbed a mini here that was the... it was the mini that went with Lady Sybil's Dress. And I thought it was the same one. So there's actually 5 colors in here.
Wow.
So I've made my own version of this shawl.
Do it scrappy. Do you,
So,
boo.
what I will say about this, it was enjoyable until about somewhere over here.
I agree.
And the only reason it stopped being enjoyable is because there was nothing else to it. Mm-hmm. You were just doing garter. And don't get me wrong, I love garter stitch. Mm-hmm. But there was something here where I was just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's a great stash buster
I agree.
to use at least 2 skeins. So I would definitely recommend it. I just will say that once you hit, I think it's here, like that corner piece there. Once you get here, it starts becoming a little crazy.
Yes.
And
I know I was going to ask if you knew where it was.
here's where you start binding off is actually at this point.
Yep.
What else do I have to say about this?
Did you have a drop stitch on this?
I did have a drop stitch. I fixed it. So what I did and I saw it, it's right here. After the bind off, and it was blocking, I noticed that I had dropped a stitch. So I put a stitch marker in it, let it dry. I brought it downstairs and I crocheted back up to where it should have been until the yarn wasn't loose between the 2 other stitches. And then I took some of this yarn, which is what it was dropped in.
You can't even tell, Kev.
And I cut off a big part of it. I looped it through the loop itself. And then I wove in one way, went up the next row, wove back to that loop again. Then I put my yarn through it another time and then wove the yarn, the 2 ends together in the opposite direction to really secure it. So you can kind of see, you might be able to see here. This
it just looks
is
like
where
an
I
extra
did
layer
it.
of yarn. Like you just wove in some spots. You can't see
Yeah, it's extra thick.
Did a great job.
So I think it'll be okay. I don't think there will
yeah.
be any issues with anything coming out.
No.
So yeah, so this is The Drifter by
job.
Tammy Gore.
How many more of those will you be knitting?
0 of them. I will be knitting 0 again.
They're really nice, and they're going to be gifts, like Kevin was saying.
Yeah.
Their criteria was
My brother said it had to be,
beachy.
not had to be, but they like the beach. So we try to go with some beachy-like colors.
Yes. Oh, me. Okay, so I've shown this. I feel like I've been talking about this for a while, but maybe not. These are the Point Edwards mitts. I
Do
did
you want me to
finish
show
those.
the picture while you show?
So what I've been doing, I've just been zooming in like this.
Oh, you're smart.
Isn't that smart?
Yeah, such a smart
I know.
pants.
So these are the Point Edwards mitts by Fairlight Fibers. They're cuffed convertible mitts, and I used Dirty Water Dye Works in the colorway Heliotrope, I think it's called. Heliotrope. Dyed in Boston. This is and we've seen them, actually they vended at Connecticut Sheep and Wool, and then we just saw them again.
They were at New England as well.
New England Sheep and Wool too.
I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. So this is their Lillian base. It's 100% superwash merino, and that's the colorway there, Heliotrope 367-07. I'm not quite sure what that means, if that's a dye lot or not. And so here they are. They are a gift, and so the concept is really cool. My hands are a little bit larger, so I knit it to their size. But you basically have the mitts. You fold down the cuff. You don't have to if you don't want to. And the thumb, because the thumb has the same kind of situation. So they're folded mitts. They look really, really cool. And then if you get cold, you can just pull. Like I said, my fingers are larger than hers. So and then they would just cover your hands.
And am I mistaken in thinking that it's only one size?
It's only one size. I believe it's a free pattern though.
Right.
I would, for myself, I would just increase the amount of stitches that I do in the round. Maybe by 4. I think that might even be enough just to get you the circumference that you need. It's definitely worth a try. This is a 1x1 twisted rib. I used a German twisted cast on, which is my go-to cast on for ribbing. I bound off loosely through the back loops, which I like that because it gives it like a slip stitch kind of quality to it. I think it looks very finished.
Yeah, it has a clean edge.
Yeah. And yeah, I think I did these on 9-inch circulars until I got to the thumb. Then I did that magic loop, which is my go-to method for fingerless mitts anyway. I did, let's see, 20 rows I did the pattern, like I did the measurements that are included in the pattern, and I think it ended up to be like something like 20 rows for the top. The thumb they don't give you any measurements for, so I made my best guesstimate based on like how much space I had left up here, and kind of made that match a little bit. But
And I'm sorry, did you say what size needles they're knit on?
I didn't. I believe they're a US 4. This is a DK weight pattern. Let me actually go into the here.
And while you're looking that up, the Drifter shawl is knit on a US 6, which is a 4mm needle.
Point Edwards mitts, I used the US 4, 3.5mm needle. I held the yarn double throughout. Yep, the fingers and the fingers of the top cuff, it was 20 rows by a 1x1 twisted rib. And the thumb, I did 10 rows of a 1x1 twisted rib. So those were my measurements that I did, and I think hopefully they'll fit her. I'm gonna give I'm gonna give them on Monday.
Oh, nice.
So I've been holding on to those so I can show all you folk. And then
Beautiful.
So I liked it. I did weigh them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember. I think it's something like 60 grams of yarn.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. So definitely a stash buster. I love the color. I think the color is really nice.
It's a really pretty color.
It knit up very well. It definitely made a difference. There's no pooling or anything, but it made a difference because I was holding the yarn double. So I think that helps with that.
Thank goodness I bought that yarn 6 years ago.
I know. I knit Reese's sweater in this as well.
The Love Note, yeah.
No. Riley's sweater, right? I think I did Riley's sweater in this, the Love Note.
What sweater? Riley has a Love Note?
Yeah. And then I made Reese's for Christmas so that they would have matching sister sweaters.
Yeah, you're right. Because Reese was the mint chocolate chip and something else.
Held together.
Yeah.
Holding yarn together is really nice. It gives it a really good like body to the stitch, I think. The stitch definition is really good when you can hold the yarn together like that. And it helps that this yarn has like a higher twist.
Does it? I thought that's a 2-ply.
It does, but it's twisted together differently. Like, look at it. So you can really see the twist in there. I don't know. Yeah. So, that's that.
Good job.
Thanks.
So, the next item that I finished is the Snow Globe hat by Tin Can Knits.
Right.
This is part of their Lazy Sunday collection. So, I knit the wrong size. So, this will be gifted to somebody.
Which is such a shame, Kev.
It's living in my beautiful sister's bag.
I love it.
This bag is called their Sunflower Gnomes. It's really freaking adorable.
How do you know that?
Because I go to their Etsy and I check all the time to see if there's something I want to buy. And they had just had a sale within the past 2 weeks. I didn't buy anything, but I just went to look. So I've knit this out of Ella Ray Eco Tweed. So it's so funny. Do you guys do this? We were watching Michael from Piece for Piece.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see like the yarn tags behind people when you're watching them? Like, oh, is that? So I grabbed this and I went up to the TV, put it up to it, and he has some Ella Ray in his stash. Actually, and for the next segment, you probably could just watch Michael's podcast and you'd understand what I'm working on. Because we're pretty much like twinning with our knits. So this Ella Ray Eco Tweed in Driftwood.
It's a beautiful color.
So this yarn is...
Right, Carrie? Isn't it gorgeous?
It's neutral. Well, it's tweedy.
It is tweedy.
It's got a bunch of bits in it. Yeah. This is 75% merino, 25% polyamide or polyamide. It is a DK weight. So, here's my
It is really gorgeous.
I will say I actually really enjoyed this knit. It's it was different.
Yeah.
I love how the cables start from the ribbing. The crown is nice. The decreases were interesting. It was actually a really rapid decrease. I think it happened over 8 rows. And the pattern itself is a 16-row repeat when you get to your cables. But you're only cabling 4 of the 16. So you're cabling like 2, and then 2 other rows you're doing like some twist thing. So I did this without a cable needle, but sometimes I wonder if I should have, and it may have moved a little bit quicker on my the rows where you have to twist the stitches. So I did the adult small. I'm going to say small. And I should have done the large. This hat is knit on a US 4 for your ribbing and a US 6 for the rest of the hat. So I will cast another one on. I just have to find some DK. I think I have a different color of this.
You don't think you'll have enough to do a hat in that?
I don't know, especially because I'll go up a size. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember if we bought... I think I bought 2 skeins when we were at Yarnia.
The Aegean tweed might be nice.
Maybe. Let's see. What's... the Eco tweed is down there somewhere.
The Aegean tweed is there.
Yeah, no, but the Eco tweed that we bought from Yarnia. Oh, here it is. So I bought this one.
That's a nice color.
This is called Graphite. So maybe I'll do it here with Graphite for myself. I don't have any dark gray or black hats.
I had done a cabled hat with dark yarn, and it was difficult for me to see the cables. But with the tweed, the tweed might be a little bit better. Yeah, you can definitely see the little blips of color. Look how fun.
Oh, you know what? I have all this Brooklyn tweed yarn too. I bet it would look really good in Brooklyn tweed.
I bet it would. Really nice job though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the pattern.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm pretty confident I bought the ebook for the patterns because there were multiple ones that I would knit at some point in my lifetime.
And that's Sunday knitting?
Lazy Sunday is the name of the ebook. This pattern is Snow Globe Hat.
Yeah. Nice job.
So, and it knit up really quickly. And this yarn blocked beautifully. I will say it kind of felt like knitting with a recycled yarn or a cotton blend. It was a little... I don't know, not sticky. I don't know how to describe it.
Not like stretchy or
no, I don't know what it is. It's not that it's not soft, but it had some like weird, not weird. I don't know. Like,
that's how this yarn is.
Like, doesn't it feel?
It feels just like that yarn.
I feel like yours
this
feels
one's a
more
little
woolly.
slippier. Yeah, that one's
yours
woolly.
feels more woolly. This feels, I don't know, it feels like a recycled cotton or something like that.
It definitely it doesn't have a lot of give.
But I will say it's beautiful to work with.
The fabric it created is gorgeous.
So I'll have to give this to somebody.
Feels really nice.
I need to find somebody with a small head.
Okay.
All right, and that's it.
Lovely.
On my FOs.
Okay, so my next FO came from, it's a little story. So, story time. I started knitting last podcast, and I had shown you all. I started knitting the Oshin hat. And that was by Hudson and West, Megan Babin. It was a beautiful cabled hat. A lot of you, and I remember saying how I was a little bit uncomfortable because the pattern looked a little bit complicated with the cables. There were like a bunch of different cable stitches, and I was a little bit anxious about how I was going to keep track. And a lot of you had some really great ideas, like using stitch markers, obviously, to separate your, the cabled pattern so that you can kind of repeat them, which I usually do anyway, and I do that for color work. But that was really a good suggestion. Somebody also had made a suggestion to put in a lifeline after my ribbing, which was great. I did that as well. And I even color-coded the pattern, the cables in the pattern. So you have the chart key. It's a paid-for pattern, so I'll show you the chart key, and then I'll see if I can get a little creative and show you the actual cables. So what I did was the chart key was put on a separate page of the pattern. So I ended up cutting and pasting that over the the page in the pattern that has the actual pattern. And I color coded the different stitches that I was going to be working with, the different cables. And I went through and color coded all of the, spent the time, color coded all of the different stitches. I was checking boxes off when I was getting there. I frogged it. I will just say that because the yarn that I was working with, which is Green Mountain Spinnery, their weekend wool, it's a 2-ply worsted weight, 100% American wool. It was about 140 yards. Here's the tag. We got this at Rhinebeck. The colorway is fawn. And I did not enjoy knitting with the yarn for that particular project. There was a lot of cables, a lot of manipulating the stitches and purling and then back and forth. The yarn I didn't think lent itself, for me personally, in the way that I knit, I guess, did not lend itself to the pattern. So I was not 100% happy with it. I wasn't enjoying the process, and I just said, you know what, I'm not doing projects that I'm not enjoying.
Good for you.
Yep. So I scrapped it, but I wanted to work with the yarn, and I wanted to knit some mitts for myself. We've been talking about it for a while, and so I ended up purchasing a pattern by Taylor Earl, who is Wool Needles Hands, also the dyer behind Fiber for the People. She has a pattern called Fire Pit Mitts, which are super cool. They looked very like rustic and simple, which I think which I in my head was like, this will lend itself very well to this yarn. So these are the Fire Pit Mitts by Taylor Earl. So you can see that they're like, I feel like that they're kind of rustic and, you know, bulky. They just look comfortable. And I was able to, and I knit them. So these are mine. The yarn still was a little bit difficult to work with, I have to say. But I love the finished product. I love how it feels knit up. So these are my mitts. They fit me perfectly. They're definitely large, like bulky, very warm, woolly mitts, I think. I'm not going to go out and chop wood, obviously, because Kevin won't let me buy an axe. But if I ever had the urge to go out and move piles of wood outside, I feel like these would be great. Going to cut down our Christmas tree or something, these would be great. These would be great around the house. So I have not blocked these yet. I just finished them last night while we were watching some shows. I did the small version. There are 2 versions in the pattern.
Oh, okay.
The pattern is very short version. I'm sorry. The pattern is very simple. It's very affordable. I think it's under $4, under $4 US. It's a rolled. Obviously, you can see it's a rolled.
Love a rolled cuff.
Me too. Rolled cuff, rolled bottom. You bind off purlwise, which creates a really cool matching. Not that you can really tell, but it creates a really nice edge that helps, I think, a little bit with the rolling down.
Excuse me.
In the pattern, the thumb's not rolled down, but I really liked that look, so I just rolled my thumb down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I feel
Way
like
to modify, bro.
I'm a modifier. So I love the feel of these. I love the feel of the yarn. I love the finished product. And I'm really excited to soak them and see in the water bath how they will...
Yeah, because they're quite stiff.
How the yarn will behave.
I think it'll be great once you block it.
Me too. It's great now. I mean, yeah. I don't even know if I want to block it because I want to see if my struggle with this yarn was because maybe there was a lot of spinning oil still in this yarn. I'm not sure. It's my first time working with Green Mountain Spinnery. Just was not perfect for the hat, but it was definitely perfect for these mitts.
What weight yarn is this?
This is a worsted weight yarn.
And what's the pattern written for? Worsted weight?
Worsted weight yarn.
And the hat was worsted weight as well?
Correct.
I wonder if this is actually more of an Aran weight. Like if it's just a really heavy worsted.
It could be.
So it could make it a little more difficult to work with on the size needles that you were using.
Sure. I didn't do like wraps per inch, or I actually didn't check my gauge. I should probably check my gauge. But there are 3 different sizes to the mitts. There's a small, medium, large, or 1, 2, 3. I knit the largest size mitts. And then there's also a version that comes down very far. So there's some shaping if you want to do the large version, which looks really cool to go down down to here, I guess. But I really love them. I'm really and I know Carrie is probably having a cow because they're not super colorful, but they're perfect for me. And I would definitely knit more of these. I want to knit some. I want to knit another pair with maybe like a superwash yarn to see if that behaves a little bit different.
It would, and I would maybe go down a size.
Yes,
because
and
it's
that's
going to
exactly
stretch.
because it'll stretch, and I think that's maybe what I'll do. But the pattern is super easy. It's super easy to follow. The thumb gusset, it's the increases for your thumb gusset are super simple. You don't have to pay attention to, knitting one left, knitting one right. It's just very, very easy, and I was very happy with it. They knit up very, very fast. These took up 63 grams of yarn.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm glad that I got 2 skeins of this because this is my second skein of yarn. I believe they were only 50-gram skeins, but I'm not 100% sure. Probably not. 140 yards.
Yeah, that would be 50 grams.
I think that's 50 grams. So
yeah, because typically a worsted weight, like 100 grams, is like
200,
2-something, somewhere around 230
like
to 260 or 220.
220, yeah.
I think that's why it's called Cascade 220.
Oh, there you go. So couldn't be happier. I did, if you're interested, I did 10 rows. Again, I kind of followed the same motif, I guess, or stitch count for the mitts that I did before. I did 10 rows for the thumb increases, and I did 20 rows for the top of my hand increases, and then I followed the pattern for the rest. Really loved it. Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I did one of these mitts, and I have no idea which one. I did one of these mitts on 9-inch circular needles, and I did the other one on magic loop because, again, with the 9-inch circulars, it was very difficult. It was very difficult in the round for some strange reason with this yarn, and I found it a lot easier to knit with magic loop, and I did the magic loop as well for the thumb. But I don't.
Excuse me.
They look the same.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one I did with which. I wonder if I can see if I had any ladders from magic. I didn't. Not sure.
This is your magic loop one.
You think?
Yeah.
How can you tell?
Because your stitch is right. No, maybe not.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Oh well.
So next pair I will just do magic loop. I'm very happy with these. Taylor, thank you. Good job. She has some other patterns too, like hat patterns and stuff on her Ravelry page. There's a nice bulky weight one too, and all her patterns are very, very affordable. That's it.
All right. So moving on to this is a transitional segment.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of
we're all about the segments lately.
This is a combo of FOs and whips. So our friend Carrie, who, if you don't know, is the Creative Obsession here on YouTube. So go check her out. She did a podcast, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and she showed something. And then during a knit night, she sent me a link, and then I bought it. And so I've worked on this. So this is the Zoom loom. It is a 4x4 loom.
Pin
loom for weaving. So I was like, oh, Carrie, do you think one could make a blanket with this? Or what do you think one could do with these squares that you make? So it comes with this little thing, this loom. And it comes with directions. All right, so let's talk about this loom for a second. Here's the loom. It has some numbers. You can see them in the corners. The numbers kind of stink. They should be a different color so you could see them, because you really can't see them. Like, whatever. They should be a different color. Secondly, I don't think that the instructions are really good that came with it. So I did have to go to YouTube and find a video to show you how to do it. Once you get it done a couple of times, I probably won't look at a video again. And then I also needed to figure out what I would do with these squares. So I found a YouTube video. Oh, crap. I probably don't remember her name. Either way. So I started doing some weaving with some scrap yarns. So here's attempt number 1. It is using fingering weight held double As you can see, here is a mistake. So I just forgot to like do something. So that was attempt number 1. Attempt number 2, some more fingering weight held double. I forgot to weave in a row. So now we have a nice little hanging.
A wall hanging.
Right here.
We'll put that over the bed or something.
And I'm using, for these, I was using all of them, 2 different colors held together. I wasn't holding the same yarn together. Here is my next one.
I think that's pretty.
Yeah, I held a solid with a speckle. I think I held...
That's the one that you did on Knit Night, right?
I think so. And then here's another one. And another one. And another one.
This one's my favorite, I think.
So once you get going and you kind of figure it out, oh, this one has a mistake too. Oh, but on the wrong side. So I don't have to worry about it. You can't see it on that side though. Interesting. All right. So once you get going and you kind of figure out the zoom loom thing, it takes about 20 minutes to do a square. Mm-hmm. What I found the key for me was the first couple of times I was tensioning my yarn too tightly. So I loosened up how I was tensioning it, and it just moved so much easier after doing that. Then Carrie, because she's so sweet,
I know, I couldn't believe this,
sent me a little package, and I was super happy because I know that she made one of these for her, and I was like, oh, I was gonna ask her, but then I don't like asking people to do stuff for me most of the time. But she made me a little pouch with my initial to fit my zoom loom, and and this thing too, a needle or a protector, because you can stab yourself.
Oh,
this
she
is
sent
the
the
needle
protector too?
Yeah, so this is the needle that you weave with. It comes with, in this package, another needle here to weave in your ends, and then 2 extra pins in case any of them pop out. So my intention is to make 5,000 of these and make a blanket.
I think that would be really cool.
I won't have to put any type of like backing on the blanket, I don't think, and I'm going to crochet the squares together. I was watching, let's see if I can find her. She did a slip stitch.
Yeah. What was it? Knitting?
YouTube. Hold on. Go to Zoom, Loom.
I think these are really cool, and it does create. Obviously, it's a dense fabric, but it's very thin.
Okay.
So I don't know how.
So the video that I watched to teach me how to do the Zoom Loom Zoomy is from Orchard House Editing and Designs. The name of the video is How to Weave on a Shocked Zoom Loom. Then that was the most shocked. So that was the most helpful for me to learn how to do the zoom. And then this is the lady who shows her blankets, and we just watched another episode, and she made some pillow cases.
Yeah.
For her
we'll link
couch
that down
pillows.
Below.
So her name is
she's all the yarn.
All the yarn.
Oops, sorry, I kicked the thing.
And she, as you can see, she's actually holding up the blanket. One of the blankets. She's done several of these from what I've seen watching her. And she does a slip stitch crochet to attach these. So it makes a really nice clean border.
Yeah.
So I will follow her instructions when I get to that point. But it's a great way to use up some scrap yarn. Oh, and Carrie sent me a square that she did with some sparkles. I don't know. It's just fun. It's a nice way if you don't feel like knitting or crocheting or spinning to just do something crafty with your hands, and you get pretty immediate satisfaction. Mm-hmm. It's very nice to just pop this off your loom, and now you have a square done. So we'll see how long this lasts. I would say, I think it was like $40 for this, and then you just put your little zoom loom in here.
In your custom case.
In your custom case. And pack it up until 2025.
No,
and
you're
going to
gotta continue to
make
do.
another square.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my Zoom loom. And I have yarn out on my table or my desk over here because we watched, prior to watching it actually. So last Thursday we were talking about this, and now several, I think 3 additional people from our knit night
You're
purchased the
very
Zoom loom.
susceptible to enabling.
What you mean?
Continue talking.
So 3 people from our knit night also purchased these.
Right. This is the year of the Zoom loom.
Yes, but what we were talking about that night, I was like, oh, I have the Cricket loom, the rigid heddle. I was like, oh, maybe I'll pull that out and do some weaving and use up some of our stash. And then the following evening, Vincent and Max, like our song, came out with their most recent episode, and they're showing all their woven stuff. And I'm like, okay, well now I am. So I pulled out 2 skeins of yarn to work on my rigid heddle loom.
Which I'm glad.
So
You've done that one time.
Hey,
No,
I know.
It's great.
I actually, and that I bought with a gift card from work.
Oh, really?
Yep, I bought it from Amazon with a gift card from work. So I have a green yarn that I'm going to use for my warp. No, that's a lie. I'm going to use that for my weft, and then I'm going to warp with a gradient. All right, so that's my transitional segment.
Great.
How many whips do you have?
Whoopsh. 2.
I have 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead. It's
Okay.
your show, princess.
So, 1, you guys have seen. This is my Fancy Boy Designs bag. I made a little progress on my Woolens and Nosh Wintermint socks.
The heat just stopped working.
I kind of just been doing this.
I love these.
Yeah, I kind of just been doing this at work sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes here. So not much. I don't know where I was last time, but I've put in my stitch markers for my afterthought heel. I did make this leg longer than I normally would
Yeah.
because, and all you sock knitters, let's see if you guys do the same thing. If I'm doing an afterthought heel, I like placing the heel in between a color block that is an odd number of rows. So
you can split it.
So I can
down
split
the
it evenly.
Sure.
So this color block here is 7 rows. So I'll put my afterthought heel in on row 4. So I'll have 3 rows above and 3 rows below. And if I had done it on this one, my leg would have been shorter than I wanted.
Sure.
And I didn't want to break up this stripe because that's only 2. So I decided to go longer than I normally would. But yeah, so just a little bit of progress. I'm knitting these on a US 1, a 1.25 millimeter. I cast on 64 stitches.
US 1 is 2.25 millimeter.
That's what I meant. A US 1, 2.25 millimeter, 64 stitches, German twisted cast on. I cast on at the color change. That's where I did my slip knot so that I can make them match when I start the second sock. I did 18 rows of a 1x1 twisted rib at the color change within here. I knit my purls until I got back around at the new color, and then I went back to a knit 1 purl 1. So I did that through here, and yeah, and that's that. So I'm going to knit my foot 6 inches, I think, this time, and just see how that feels, because I think I make my socks too long, the foot of it. So I'm going to try a 6-inch foot
with some more negative ease.
Yeah.
Can I see this? I think I'm doing the German twisted cast on wrong. Mine doesn't look like that.
No?
No. Mine looks pretty sloppy. I'll show you.
It could be
maybe the twisted ribs help pulling it down.
I don't know. Whose tutorial do you use?
Well, I used Andrew Mowry's, I thought, but then I was like, oh, I got this. And I've been doing it like that forever. Maybe it's really not maybe it's something else.
I don't know. That's, again, I say this whenever I talk about it, German twisted cast on. I watch Andrea Mowry's. That's the one that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I used hers too.
So,
but maybe I had a modified. Let's pull mine out so you can see.
Okay.
This is in the beautiful bags that we showed last time. This is a Heidenhammer collaboration with Le Garçon. This bag is so cool, and it's probably a little bit extreme for socks, but whatever. I wanted to use it, so. Okay. I am doing a pair of socks as well. I had this in my stash for a while. Kevin bought this for me, I feel like in 2020. This is Desert Vista Dye Works, and I think this is my first time using Desert Vista Dye Works. My first time. I think you've used it before. Mm-hmm. This is in her Viso base, which is 75-25, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It's approximately 462 yards. The colorway is either Nurses Are Superheroes or Nurses or Superheroes. I don't know if that's an A and an R and she forgot the E, or if that's an O and an R. So Nurses or Superheroes or Nurses Are Superheroes. So Kevin bought this for me along with a really fun... did you get a bag too?
Yeah, didn't you get you got a bag? Was it a kit? Did it come with that bag with the hearts on it?
I don't think so, because I don't know... Oh, I don't know, actually.
It may have been a kit.
Oh, well, I'm not using that bag, but I'll have to look. Anyway, I wanted to do... I've noticed with my socks, and I've been obviously knit socks every day, that I feel like when I'm knitting my cuff, I've been knitting them shorter and shorter and shorter, and I wanted a longer cuff because I wanted a longer leg. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough yarn to do it all in one color, so I thought... Kevin's actually had the idea. I was going to use some of the... what's it called?
Patons Croix.
Patons Croix. But a lot of you had also said that Patons Croix is a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
And a 75-25 yarn typically seems thinner to me. And I didn't want that. So Kevin suggested that why don't I go and grab some of the undyed yarn of the base that he uses when he dyes. And so that's what I did. So I'm using an undyed skein of Needles at the Ready yarn. So 75-25 base.
But this is actually a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
If you guys want undyed yarn, number one, you could get some from Knit Picks. They sell some of their bases. You can also get it from... You don't have to be a yarn dyer to buy yarn from the companies that sell it. So you can look at places like Wool to Dye For. I think one's like Ashland Bay. There's another one called something else. But if you just search around and buy yourself a pack of maybe 10, and then you can get 10 skeins of undyed yarn. I don't know if they sell them in smaller packages. They probably do. And then you just have some for your stash to use for something.
And that's where we get our yarn from, is Wool to Dye For. And then so I separated the yarn into two 50-gram cakes of yarn, so I can do one for each sock. And this is what I have so far. So it's definitely fun colors, I think. I did see how my German twisted cast on? It's like weird, like sloppy looking.
I think it's just...
Or just
you know
loose.
what? It's also... It may be because you use 9-inch circular needles. It may be just loose. Like mine might
see how
tighten
it looks
up.
a little funky. I mean, when it's on my leg, it's probably not going to be like that.
Cares?
But it's super. I mean, obviously, it's super stretchy for the days that I'm holding on extra water in my ankles. And so I ended up doing 20 rows of the ribbing, which I think will be great. And then I'm going to probably do a 8-inch leg, and then I'll do my total 8-inch leg. So I just started these last night. This is...
You cast on last night?
Yeah.
I feel like, really?
Yeah.
I thought you cast on Thursday.
I cast on Thursday. But I wanted to just to start on Thursday. So I finished the ribbing and attached the yarn last night. So, because once I finished my mitts, I needed something to do while we were watching TV.
Yeah.
Of course, I needed to have knitting with me because God forbid I don't knit. But I think this will be really fun. I'm excited about it. Then I am doing these on 9 circulars, 2.25 millimeter needle, US 1. I did. Oh, so this was a purchase that we made at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl, Nitty Gritty Girl Yarn Shop on Saturday while we were there. In addition to the yarn, I looked at their stash of 9-inch circular needles, and there was some likey driftwood 9-inch circulars. I was like, let me just try it. They were like $9. I figured let's give it a go. And so that's what these are. I love them. I really love them. They're very light. I'm very nervous that I'm going to break them, but I'm not a super tight knitter with 9-inch circulars. Things kind of flow really easily for me now. My tension is pretty even, so I'm not struggling. I know a lot of people hold on to those really tightly, but I hold on to them pretty loosely. So I like the point on them, the taper on them too. They're very smooth. I thought with wood needles it might grip the yarn a little bit more, but these do not. These are it's such a smooth experience. We'll see how the rest of the sock goes, but so far I'm extremely happy with it. So if they work out well, I might get a few more pairs. Although I can't, huh?
You have why?
Why can't I?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's fine. Okay, so that's those. We'll we'll see. I think it's nice to have socks back on the needles again.
Good for you. All right, next up, this is an oldie. I pulled it out. I don't know why, but I pulled it out and I started knitting on this. It's living in a Twinkle and Twilight bag. This is the Knit 4 Points Baby Blanket by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern.
Oh yeah, you haven't knit on this in a while.
Yeah, I cast on like ages ago.
Yeah.
And just stopped working on it because of life. And it's really nice. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying about the drifter shawl, where I love garter stitch. Yeah. So it's really nice because it's garter, and maybe here I'm seeing the decreasing a little bit quicker or something.
Ooh,
it's easier.
I just kicked you guys again. I'm sorry.
To work with.
Hold on, let's straighten this out.
So I am knitting this out of Pearl Soho's Buttercup Cotton.
Buttercup.
And I don't know what color it is because I can't find the tag for it.
Is it that egg blue kind of?
No, this is a lavender. It may be called lavender, actually.
Lavender.
So I was here last time I showed it. So I've made a decent amount of progress.
Yeah.
I have my Fox and Pine. Right?
Yes.
Is that who it is? Needle stoppers on here, which are little foxes, and they're cute.
They are very cute.
So super easy garter stitch. You do some decreases on one side, and that's it. That's all I have. I love Buttercup Cotton. I think it's a really nice, like this reminds me of that yarn. Like feel it? The yarn that I knit with that hat, right?
Yeah,
it
a little
has
bit.
That like cottony feel to it.
Sure, but this is a really super soft cotton. Like this feels.
I love this cotton.
I don't think I've ever knit with this before.
You have not. You. I think you took some to start a dishcloth and just never started it. But yeah, easy.
I don't want to do a dishcloth anymore.
I love them.
I know you do.
I might do some soon.
Great.
Because I need some more. Yeah, so I will. I don't think I chose my 4 colors for it. So it is knit on US. I'm doing this on my Mindful set from Knitter's Pride. US 3.25 millimeter.
Does that snag at all? It looks like it.
Yeah, the join is a little bit.
It looks like it sticks out a little bit.
You can see here where the join is, so it does get caught there a little bit here and there. But yeah, I enjoyed the needles. There's a little bit of a snag. You kind of get over it because the same thing happens with your Addy clicks. And the cord is supposed to be...
The cord seems nice.
Kind of like a Chowgu. It does keep some memory, but not as much as other needles.
Okay.
So, yes. So that is my 4-point baby blanket.
That's great. I'm glad that you're working on that again. You actually made some good progress with it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of babies coming in the future.
Oh my gosh,
so
I know.
I just want to
None of them are ours, though.
Yeah, just want to have some baby knits on the needles.
Okay.
All right. You're up?
All right. And
we have a lot of... Why do we have
Sparkle?
glitter on this?
I think it was from when we were wrapping Christmas presents.
Okay.
Because I haven't taken this out to shake it yet.
I'll wash it today.
Okay.
All right.
This next project is my Vertices Unite, which we've shown quite a bit on this podcast. That's what Kevin's wearing. I don't know if I need to actually show you the pattern because Kevin's wearing it, but I will. Just because, for consistency's sake. Let me go into my shawls folder. This is the Vertices Unite. And this is a 3-color shawl.
What? It's 5 colors.
5-color shawl. What I really appreciate, and this isn't giving anything away, is that he holds the yarn, like he holds a finished product up to show you what the sections are and what colors to pair with, that go together, so that it can help you plan. It can help you kind of plan your yarns.
There you go.
So I will just tell you. Oh, that's okay.
No, go ahead.
I knit section 1, which is here, and I knit section 2, and I am currently on section 3. Mine are scrunched up on needles, so this will probably be easier for you to visualize. So I finished section 1, I finished section 2, and now I started section 3.
And this is the large version. The pattern
Correct.
does have 2 versions, a small and large.
Yep.
So both times I've knit the large and wouldn't change it.
Good. Don't change for anybody.
I'm not going to.
This is using all of Les Garçons yarn. This was their mysterious clubs. We've gotten 3 of them so far, I believe. 2 of the colors I'm using are from the Mysterious Forest, and 3 of them are Mysterious Mountain.
I believe so.
Yep. So I will show you what I have so far. I have to put these on a smaller cord because it's a little bit finicky right now on this large cord. I have to get some more small cords unless you have shorter ones.
I probably do.
Okay. So here we are. So this is the front. This is section 1, which is gigantic. This is using the mysterious, I don't know anymore. I'll tell you all in a second. So this is section 1 here, which is large. This is section 2.
Your section 2 looks like my section 1 a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does. This is section 2 here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started section 3, which is this one here. And so section 2 is hanging out on spare cords because you're going to pick these stitches up, I think, and then bind off at that point. I don't think you attach anything there. So the yarns that I'm using, I wanted I kind of wanted a color palette similar to this, like darker, sophisticated kind of color palette. And I chose, here they are. So I did write them down just for ease in my little notebook. Like Kevin said, I am using the large. These are knit on a US 4 3.5 millimeter needle. Yarn A is yarn A is this color here. This is on Yak Sock from the Mysterious. This is Mysterious Bear, is what it's called. It's 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon. Color B is the Mysterious Goat, which is this guy. It's kind of like a purpley plum kind of color.
Yeah, it's definitely got some depth to it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think they look really neat together.
Yeah,
side by side.
There's the contrast between them, so you can see the striping, which is nice.
And it's nice in the sun. I don't know if you can really tell. Yeah,
no, you can, because it's nice because they're contrasty, but they're also both muted colors.
Yep. And then for section 2, I used the Into the Mysterious Forest Club, I think. And this is the mysterious deer. This is mysterious deer here, along with
this is mysterious crow.
Yes.
Because D is, you would have used this as D. So C and D.
I don't know. The tags are inside. Let's just do it like normal.
Or I could just pull mine.
No, because I don't remember which is which. This is Mysterious Crow here. Yep. And this is on our sparkle, which is nice. And then this one, oh gosh, is, I believe, Mysterious Deer.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Because that's E.
Gotta be. And this is Mysterious Deer. You can see the sparkle on there. It's the gold sparkle, which is really cool. And this one has the silver sparkle. So these are my two sparkle yarns. I'm going to showcase both of them by themselves. Section 3, you're only knitting with this one. Mm-hmm. And then one of the sections 5, maybe, you're only knitting with this one. So I'll have 2 plain knit sections. The rest will be striped. And I think that would be really, really cool.
I'm just trying to see which one.
I think it's up by your neck.
So, you knit with this B by itself here.
Oh yeah, that one would be good too.
And then
this
knit
one's
with
by itself.
By itself, which was
this one. It's going to be this one.
Nice.
Yep. I think that'll be cool. This is why I hate taking the tags out of the middle.
But you had it written down.
I know, but I couldn't remember then what A, B, C, and D was.
You had it written next to them.
No, but I couldn't remember where it fell in the pattern.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, I also have a picture of him.
You do.
It's okay. Whatever. I'm not professional. Y'all know this. So I'm really, really excited. I'm absolutely loving the project. I'm loving the colors. I'm loving the yarns. It's just... It's such a fun...
Yeah, it's one of my favorite...
It's such a fun
It's my
pattern.
favorite shawl.
Yeah. But you can see, like, this cord right now is, like, this is the only thing that I still have
left.
Yeah. I know. And
I have plenty.
It's driving me...
I have plenty small ones.
It's driving me bonkers. So I need, like, a 20-inch...
Yeah, we could switch that out.
Thank you. And that's where I'm at. So I put this on hold because of the cord. I was going to actually ask you if you had any. So... now that we've had this conversation.
We do. All right. So my last whip is another one that's just kind of been lingering for a couple months. This is in a Yarn Creative bucket.
Those are so nice.
This is my twist and turns, y'all. I took it back out. Oh, no, I have another one after this.
Another whip?
Yeah.
All right.
Huh.
Great.
I don't know where it is.
Is it downstairs?
Yeah, I think so.
What is it?
Hold on, let me just double check. It is. I forgot to put it in a bag, I think.
Okay, I can go grab it.
No, it is. It's in my Lego Arsenal bag.
The one that I have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I decided to pick this up again. This is the 2022 MCAL by Mr. West. This is my version of Twist and Turns. All of my yarn is from Barnyard Knits. This, like, ready purple is called Japanese Maple. The white is called Pumpkin. So we got... that's not that. So here's Japanese Maple. I'm also using Golden Leaf. And then, White Pumpkin. Yes. So these are all on 75/25. I finished my cables. So the cables for both sections are now done. now I get to pick up the side somewhere over here to do that long strip with the cabling on it. I did drop a stitch somewhere. I have to go back and fix it. And I've been using the barber cords. Well, these are not barber cords. These are the pony strings. And they actually slide sometimes. And I feel like they're a little more slick than the barber cords. The barber cords have not a grittiness to them, but they feel a little more substantial and a little more grippy than these. So on this side here, I had to tie it in a knot because it came undone and I lost some stitches, and I had a stitch marker here. So I'm going to have to go back and just crochet it back up and hope that my stitch count is correct. I know a lot of people aren't happy with this. They don't like the final shape because when you get down here, you get some like, I don't know, some scales. I think it's really graphic. I'm not in a rush to finish it, but what my goal is in addition to whatever else I'm working on, I have all of my, I think I have 3 shawls now on the needles. Yes, I had 4 as of last episode. Now I'm down to 3. So I'm just going to keep working through them from the newest to the oldest. So this will be the shawl that I focused on to try to get this done in no specific time. Hopefully sooner than later, because Steven does have a modular shawl coming out next month. And this is a modular shawl, so I'm kind of excited and want to see what he has.
Mine might be getting a ribbit.
Oh, your twists and turns.
My twists and turns. It's not bringing me joy. So I'm getting rid of it.
Good for you.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to use the little boy's room.
All right. So my last project was also living in my Hide and Hammer Le Garçon collaboration. And I...
Oh, yeah.
am knitting the Tin Can Knits World's Simplest Mitt. World's Simplest Mitt. Cancel. Or World's Simplest Mittens. This has... The pattern includes instructions for a fingering weight, a DK weight,
I love
a worsted weight, and a chunky weight.
Yeah.
And sizes. So there's a toddler, child, adult small, adult medium, and an adult large. I'm doing the adult I'm doing the adult small, which is 7 inches around, which I measured at. I am modifying it based on Caleb from Drowning in Yarn's YouTube video. So I am making them convertible, where I knit and then bound off, and then the actual like mitt part, you picked up stitches along the back of your mitt, and you only did it on the back, so then you need to cast on stitches to get the same number on. So I did a cabled cast on to create the 16 extra stitches. And this is how it fits so far. Actually, I gotta move my watch, which I should have done. I think I could have gone a little bit longer in the hand, but I put this on with my watch on, and that actually changes. I wasn't able to pull it down far enough. So here's where I am so far. And then
I love it.
I have the convertible part, so you'll be able to, hopefully I'll be able to put it over my fingers because it's not super stretchy right now. So hopefully it will fit. If not, I could always take that off, and then I'll have a fingerless mitt. This is probably very similar to their paddle mitts, like what I have right here.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm knitting this out of Kelborn Woolens Lucky Tweed in the colorway Navy. Really nice deep blue.
It's beautiful, yeah.
It's really lovely to work with.
Yeah.
This is on Kelborn Woolen site. It's considered an Aran weight. But I think it's because it's not common to have a worsted weight, I don't think, in like the UK or Europe. They typically go DK or double knit and then Aran. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
It's great.
I like it.
I think it's going to be really cool.
I'm knitting it on a US 5 for the ribbing and a US 7 for the hand itself. Knits up really quick in worsted weight yarn. Seriously, this was pretty much...
I feel like you just cast this on.
A day, maybe 2 days of knitting. Like knitting time total. Couple hours. This took about an hour for your cuff, another hour up here, and then maybe like less than an hour there. Really, really simple. And then the way that it will work is this will like tuck in, and then you'll finish it off to make a mitt. It does feel tight when I do that.
But it's still on the needles too.
Yeah, so it's... And it will need to be blocked, but yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
So I just have to... I'm about right here. I think I need to go up a little bit more and start my decreases. Mm-hmm. Maybe another round or two. And then I'll be able to finish the mitt and then pick up for the thumb. Again, Tin Can Knits, you can't go wrong with their patterns. They're very well written. A ton of people make them. They have a lot of free patterns on their website or in Ravelry, so definitely check them out.
And a lot of pattern support too. So like they have blogs and stuff, and you can look. There's some videos. There's step-by-step instructions. You kind of choose the pattern. It'll tell you, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of, what they do say here is when you're doing your gusset, it just says use your favorite make one.
Yeah, sure.
I used a make one left and a make one right, just so I can make sure. It can get confusing if you do a knit front to back, making sure that you have the correct stitch count and your stitch marker in the right place. Because if you do a knit front to back, the pattern says make one, knit one, make one. So you knit front to back, you just knit your knit one technically as well.
Right.
And then if you do it on the next stitch to do a knit front to back, you've just worked two of your stitches on your needles and you only had to work one based on the way that the pattern's written. So I do think a make one left and a make one right is probably, in my opinion, the best way to go for this, just so you don't mess up your stitch count.
Yeah.
And I got that from their blog post.
See?
I went to the blog post because I was unsure of what to do and kind of wanted to see what they said or what they were recommending, and that was the way that they led me. So
lovely. Just lovely.
And that is everything that we've worked on.
Great.
So
wow, the knitting content is done.
Correct. Let's talk.
By the way, this is my slip extravaganza. I wear it kind of like a poncho sometimes. It got a little cold.
And that's all Trilogy yarn.
This is all Trilogy yarn, yeah.
Whiskey, teddy bear, and Little Nugget.
Which will lead us right into...
You go for it.
Some owl posts. You guys, we mentioned this, I think, last time. Nancy over at Trilogy Yarn has quite a lot of clubs, and we were able to offer a discount code for your first months off of the Broadway club that she has. And we showed the Grinch during the month of December. She had sent us one, and she dyes the colorway based on the playbill for the Broadway club. So she sent another one to us, and this is this month's. Hopefully everybody's received theirs from this month. If not, it's beautiful.
I'll do a countdown.
Okay.
Before you show it. So,
well, hold on. I want to open the bag.
If you haven't received this club shipment from her, Ray's going to show it in 5, 4, 3.
Well, I'm going to show the playbill first.
1.
So here's the playbill. And I've never heard of this musical before, but this is called Be More Chill. I love the colors, right? And this is the inspiration photo. And here's the yarn. Very good job. Isn't it great? Yes. She did a wonderful job. She does a wonderful job with her dyeing anyway. This is on her plush base. It's her MCN fingering base. It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. It's a lovely base to work with. I think I have some of the... these are all MCN.
Yeah, they are.
It's very hard wearing. I wear this shawl all the time. I actually didn't do this on purpose. Well, how fun is that?
I know.
Right.
Look at you.
So it's lovely to work with. And she's continuing offering the 20% off your first shipment. And I think the code is Broadway 20.
I don't know. Did we put it in the...
Well, we didn't show it last.
Oh, so it's 2 show notes ago?
Yeah, it should be 2 show notes ago.
All right.
I think it's Broadway. I think it's Broadway 20. Well, it smells delicious.
It is Broadway 20.
Broadway
20 will get you 20% off the first month. When you sign up, it's a 3-month subscription.
Yeah. And she also includes like little fun things. This month just happens to be some eucalyptus and lavender. And I'd never seen this card before that came out. That's really smart.
New. Yeah.
Yeah. She talks a little bit about, how the yarn could sometimes bleed, which is normal with hand-dyed yarn, especially if you're dealing with some like blues and purples and stuff. Sometimes they can bleed reds also.
Blue, purple,
but
red.
Look at the depth of color.
Yeah, it's got a really nice dark.
It's really pretty. Yeah. So she's consistently knocking it out of the park. I love that she includes a picture of the actual playbill. You can probably do something really fun if you like to watch a lot of the shows and stuff, to even use these pictures and kind of create a
montage,
like a montage
poster.
thing. Yeah. So Nancy, thank you again for sharing this. Nancy has shared that she got quite a few orders the last time from you wonderful people. So if you're interested, go ahead and you get your first month.
I wonder what this is about. It looks like it would almost be video game themed based on the pixelation and his t-shirt.
Yeah, his t-shirt looks like what's that?
The
Space
Space Invaders?
Space Invaders.
Right?
Yeah.
And it almost reminds me of Ready Player One.
It kind of does.
Right?
Yeah. I wonder if maybe that's what it's based on.
Which, speaking, if you guys have seen Ready Player One and you've watched House of the Dragons, did you realize that I don't know her name in the House of Dragons? She's her best friend who becomes the queen, right? So her best friend who marries her father becomes queen is the same actress who plays Artemis in Ready Player One.
Right.
Weird.
And I did not know that at all until Kevin said it. We were almost done with the season, I think, by the time you said that.
So, speaking of coupon codes, we'll plug all these now. We have a bunch. Again, they're down below in the description box. All of the show notes are there. If there's anything that we missed, feel free to reach out to us. But if you're looking for like a pattern that we talked about, the name of the pattern and a link to it in Ravelry is down below in the description and the show notes. So coupon codes, we have Naughty Knitting Sacks, which is Prickle Pants 15. You'll get 15% off your order. Trilogy Yarns has a coupon code NATR 15. That's off of anything excluding her clubs and her kits.
So you can't combine those two coupon codes together.
The coupon code we mentioned before is just off her Broadway club.
Yep.
Then we have Knit Swag. The code is Kevin and Ray for 15% off your order. Lila Stiles, who is a bag maker and has some new bags that she's been working on based on the TV show Wednesday. Her code is LOVENATR10 for 10% off your order. Then we have Always Queenie Believe, who is also a bag maker and makes some really fun pouches for your notions.
I always forget to bring them up. They probably one of my most used notions bags.
So that code is 9-inch Cirque for 20% off. Then we have Katie Did Bags, who's a bag maker. The code is Kevin and Ray for 10% off your order. Scrappy Angel, a bag maker. Use NATR Fan 10 for 10% off your order. Then we have Stitchy Squid, stitch markers. Code is Tarquin 15 for 15% off your order. And this code The next one lasts
I think
for
until March, right?
March. It's Rich Mountain Fiber Co. The code is NATR20 for 20% off your order.
And that's a lovely brick and mortar shop.
I believe they just had their grand opening this week.
Oh, really?
I think so. I know somebody did. I want to say it's them.
No, because they sent us all that stuff.
Remember?
Right,
but what I'm saying is that they had a grand opening.
Oh, that's lovely. Instead of like a soft opening?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then the last one is Maker Wool. The code's Needles10 for 10% off your order. And those, again, all listed down below.
Thank you all so much for sharing those codes with all of us.
And thank you for you guys for using them and supporting all these
totally.
small businesses.
Nice to hear that. Yeah.
So all we have left is Break in the Bank. And this is from a fiber event that we went to.
Well, I have one that's not that.
Oh, you go ahead because I don't.
Okay. I don't know if this is my last edition. This might be my last shipment.
I think it is.
But this is from Going Gnome. This is part of their mystery box, their mystery club. They did a like endangered species mystery box, mystery thingamajigger. And this one is super cute. This is the blue-footed booby.
It's very cute.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
So this is their Mystery Kit Club 2022. Like I said, I think this is my last one. This is an intermediate pattern. I actually have these sitting next to me downstairs. So I'm going to be doing some needle felting probably very soon. I'm just so into the shawl right now. I'm feeling so into sisters right now.
I knew.
So the blue-footed booby, and I'm probably saying that wrong. But it says, here is a marine bird that has enchanted the world. They live in regions of the eastern Pacific Ocean. Sometimes it feels like the Galapagos Islands have all the cool animals. Male and female blue-footed boobies look a lot alike, and they like showing off their feet. The fish and squid they eat have pigments called carotenoids, which cause the blue color of their feet. Which also, I think that's where pink flamingos get their pink color from the shrimps and stuff that they eat. Anyway, so the brighter the blue of their feet, the healthier the bird is. They're kind of goofy and super lovable. Hope you enjoy felting one.
Cute.
Blue-footed booby. So yeah, super fun. I mean, it looks like a seagull with blue feet. Oh, super fun.
Yes.
Okay, so that's that. I'm definitely due for some needle felting soon.
And then we have our trip to Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. Again, that was a Niantic. And Jake from Ken Yarn's Trunk Show. So we actually bought pretty similar things. First thing is, I don't know that I've seen this at any of our other local yarn stores. And I thought this was pretty reasonably priced. This is Juniper Moon Farm, Patagonia Organic Merino, in the color Rust. This is 100 grams, 382 yards. I would say it's a DK.
It is a DK. This is number 3 on it.
Okay, so this is a DK, so this might actually be what I make my snow globe hat out of.
Nice.
Because you would see the cables more in this than the dark gray. Possibly, who knows? But I just wanted to give it a try. I think it was maybe $16. And I thought that was okay. Yeah. Okay price, and I haven't seen it before. So it looks like it's a 2-ply. And they have a ton of colors, like a ton of colors there. So, and they do ship. So yeah, definitely check out their site.
I bought this with a pattern in mind, and I can't remember the pattern that I wanted to do with this yarn. I think these were going to be the fire pit mitts.
Yes.
Yes, they were.
They were.
All right, they still could be.
Or you could now do the cable hat instead. That you were going to use the other yarn for, so you could do the cable hat.
Okay. I also got the Juniper Moon Farm Santa Cruz Organic Merino, but this is their worsted base, and the color is smoked. You know, I love my grays.
Look, gray is a great color.
It is. And so hat or mitts?
Hat. Go with a hat. You don't have any dark gray hats.
I know.
Go with a hat.
All right.
But
I can't do that.
let's talk about that for a second because we've just discussed how dark gray sometimes you can't see the cables. So if you're going to do a cabled hat, I don't know if that's going to be the best one.
That's why I would think I was going to do the mitts with these.
So you can make yourself another pair of mitts.
I could.
Or you could do a different hat.
Yeah, we'll see. So, okay. I got it. I don't know. We'll try it out. I think it'll be really cool. They had, like Kevin said, they have a ton of different colors and different bases too from there, and all that stuff. Different weights of yarn. So super cool. Juniper Moon Farm.
So next up is the purchases that we made from Ken Yarn. I bought 2 from his charcuterie line.
What a clever line of yarn.
So, and I got all 3 of these to go together in some way.
He has a 3-color shawl that he was doing, didn't he?
I don't recall, but I think this might be a 3-color shawl. I just have to figure out which way I would want to do this. This one is, or actually, all of it's on 80/20 base. So it's a 2-ply Aurora fingering, and it's 400 yards, 100 grams. So this one is it, what do you think? Is S?
Descensum?
Descensum? All right. That's what we're going to go with. So we have beautiful blue, some orange, some whites. So as I was shopping...
It's really pretty.
Right, it's gorgeous.
I had that in my hand too.
Actually, I had 2 of yours in my hand and I put them down because you got them. But as I was shopping, I was like, I need to stop with the blue, y'all. So then my next one that I picked up was blue cheese. Right? So this is...
That still has some blue in it.
Yeah, for sure. This is like almost like a whitish base.
It's like
with just
cheese.
The slightest bit of like bits of blue.
Yeah.
And then you have some really nice speckles.
Yeah.
So it's going to go for another blue. Like there was this gorgeous tonal blue and I was like, okay, I'm going to get that and I'm going to do a blue shawl. And I was like, no, Kevin, stop. Get off the blue. Get some other colors in your life. So I went with pickled carrots.
I love it.
So I think this is going to be a good pop.
I think so too.
Of color somewhere. And who knows, maybe if I feel like if I found 2 other colors.
Those 3 are gorgeous together.
Balance out. This could be a really good Vertices Unite, and this would be my section E. So
3. What your color E?
Section 3 color E. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that could happen. I feel like I would need another dark and maybe 2 more darks and just work with the 1 light. I think that's worked well for me in these. So who knows, but that's what I got. Love the colors. And I just think the orange is going to go really well with that.
Me too.
It really picks up the rusty orange in this color.
Yeah. And I think he just announced that he's starting to do dye to order. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that. So I want to say the tonals are dye to order.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, but I did see that on the site.
Good for him.
Or on the Insta, rather.
So I broke my own rule and got individual skeins to not necessarily go together, although these two do go together. This is a different base.
Correct.
So this is, all right, I'll start here. This is called Half Bad. It's on his Stratus DK, which is 100% superwash merino.
What? I was just like, we literally are.
I know. So this is that.
I was going to buy that one, but then I saw you had it, so I didn't.
Sorry. This is going to be a hat. This is going to be the Lyle cap.
Oh,
because I've never knit one before.
Right.
And that's specifically why I got it. Because I don't have many skeins of DK that I think I would wear as a hat. And this one is really nice. The darker shades and things. I really like that. So, and that's a simple pattern from what you said.
Knits up super quick.
So I think that'll be really nice. So yeah, I love his labels, which are great. We actually had a conversation about them while we were there.
Yeah, I do like his labels a lot.
Half Bad. And then I got 2 skeins of the Aurora fingering as well. The first one that I picked up was S'mores.
That's what I was going to buy.
Which I love it. And I have that pair of socks that I knit with the s'mores colorway from Ginger Snap That. And I really like this, but I like that there are like these pops of like black almost in there, which is really cool. It's like the extra toasted marshmallow and like chocolate and stuff. So, although maybe that's a dark
Isn't that
brown.
interesting how we could justify colors sometimes? Be like, oh, this color just reminds me of a burnt marshmallow.
But if it didn't have the name s'mores, like we would
wouldn't
be
be
like,
that.
oh, maybe it's like chitara a little bit in there. So then it's very difficult sometimes to find like black yarn.
Yeah.
And he had a really cool one. This is called Onyx. Which is a good black. It's a good black. It almost like, it's a little bit, there's some tonality to it. You see that? Like which obviously is, but I really liked that. I think this has like really good depth of shade. And I thought with the black, maybe I can do some contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, or add it to another shawl for that extra like pop, or maybe a border on a shawl. This would be a really cool border for my Vertices Unite, maybe.
Don't do that.
I won't do that, but it could be. But then looking at these two together, I think they look really cool together.
That could be a good 2-color shawl.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
It could be a good pure joy.
Oh, what a great idea.
And do the black as your yarn over rows.
Yeah.
Right? And then you would end with a big section of the black.
I haven't done a pure joy in a while.
I would.
What a
I
cool.
think that would
That's
be
a great idea.
Or a dotted raise.
I've never done a dotted raise.
So you could do dotted raise, and you could use that same.
But don't I need another skein of yarn for dotted raise? Isn't it large?
I've never done the large. I've gone in between.
I'll look at the yardage and see. This is 80/22 ply, 400 yards, about 100 for 100 grams. So,
yeah. I mean, you could.
Not sure. We'll see.
I mean,
Anyway,
you could always buy another
these are
skein
absolutely,
if you need it.
yeah. I think these are really gorgeous together, and then I'm really excited just to cast on the hat there. So he had so many nice colors.
Yeah, he really did. He brought a lot of yarn
did.
with him, a great selection of colors, tonals, speckles. So it was really nice to see the yarn in person too, and be able to support somebody that we knew from afar.
Yeah.
And that we got to meet him and chat with him. And
it's one of my favorite parts is like meeting people and having like those conversations. And it was really cool at a venue like this where we could spend the time, and just chat. We spent over an hour in the store, I think.
Correct.
So anyway, that is, I think that's all. That's our haul.
That's the haul. And now we have what we've been reading and watching. So we'll do watching first.
Okay.
We started and finished watching Wednesday, the Netflix show. Really good.
I thought it was great.
Loved it.
I did too.
I loved the actress.
Me too.
I was sad. If you guys know that there's this dance scene in the show, and when I've seen it on social media, it is the dance scene shown and the music that's playing is a Lady Gaga song, and I thought that was in the show, and it totally wasn't, so it threw me off a little bit. But really good show. We enjoyed it. We also finished, Jake actually recommended this when we were at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. It is called Half Bad,
which is exactly what that skein
The Bastard Son and Devil Himself.
Yeah.
It is based on a young adult trilogy that goes by the same name. That was really good. It's sad because it got canceled.
It did.
After the first season.
Which I'm really surprised because I thought it was really well done. Yeah,
you follow Nathan. He is half Blood Witch and half Fairborn. So Blood Witch is bad, Fairborn good.
Well, from their perspective.
From their perspective.
From each other's from the Fairborn perspective, Blood Witches are bad. From the Blood Witch perspective, Fairborns are the enemy.
And the show's about him. When they come of turn 17, they have this ceremony where they get their gift or their power. In order for him to get his, he needs to get blood from his family because his family's no longer with him, or he doesn't have anybody who he could get the blood from that he trusts. So you kind of follow him on that journey, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in between.
Yeah.
Tons of magic, and it's very different, I would say, than anything I've watched or read recently that I can think of. So we just finished that last night. Yes.
Yeah, we just finished it last night. I'm really disappointed. I wish
Me
that
too.
there were more.
It was good. It has some LGBT characters in it.
Representation.
Yep,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is nice. We watched the first episode of The Last of Us on HBO Max. For those of you who don't know, it is a like zombie apocalypse-ish type of show. It is based on an incredibly popular video game that came out years and years ago. There's also a second video game.
The video game is also called The Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us Part 2, which both are amazing games. The first episode ran about an hour and a half, so it was like watching a movie.
Felt like a movie.
And it was done
it didn't
really
feel
well.
like it was an hour and a half.
No, I read an article too after we watched it that showed like Easter eggs or similarities between the two. And it's really cool. The one thing they changed is the timeline.
Okay.
So the game, I want to say, takes place in 2003. Uh-huh. So there's a bigger time jump
in the game than there was
in the movie than there, or in the TV show than there was in the game.
Oh, okay.
From what I understand.
Okay.
But I thought it was done really well.
Me too. I loved it. I was really into it. I can't wait to watch more. And that one, it's one episode at a time that they're releasing. So we're going to be watching
Sunday.
them as they come out.
And then lastly, last night we started watching The Sandman on Netflix. It is based off a graphic novel by Neil Gaiman. Mm-hmm. We have not read it, so I know people who have read the graphic novel do not like the series.
Okay.
So I actually enjoy the fact that we haven't, because we're going into it with fresh eyes.
With just the series.
So we can enjoy it without having some reference. So I'm okay with that.
Which I think it's interesting. I don't know if I'm like hooked yet. So I'd like, I want to watch some more and kind of, I don't really understand much.
And then I finished reading Never Hero by T. Ellery Hodges. This follows Jonathan, who is injected with some alien tech, and when needed, he has his natural form is enhanced based on the alien tech. Mm-hmm. It was okay. It doesn't make me want to read the rest of the series. Sure. I may at some point.
Okay.
But I wasn't in any rush to do so. Issue number 1 is I read this on Kindle, and when I'm reading on the Kindle, in my bottom left corner, I have how much time's left in the chapter, and I use that to kind of gauge how much I'm going to read at night. Yeah. So if it's, let's say it's 10 o'clock at night and it says the next chapter is 5 minutes, I'll probably just read that.
Yeah.
This one, it actually didn't have any chapters. It just showed I had like 6 hours left in the chapter, which is what I had left in the book. So it threw me off a bit and it annoyed me quite a lot. I removed it from the Kindle, reinstalled it. I checked it on the Kindle app and it still acted that way. So I wasn't pleased with that. There was a lot of character development and world building, but you didn't get any understanding as to why the events that were happening in the book were happening and why he was injected with this into like the last chapter. So
it sounds really cool though.
Yeah, the concept of it was cool. There's when he battles an alien, he can take something from them and break it, and it sets back the timeline. So anything that happened, everybody forgets about. If anybody died, they come back to life.
Yeah.
So the reason it's called Never Hero is because nobody is ever going to know that he was a hero because they forget the events. So he was never a hero. Oh. So that's where the title comes from. So there's a lot of
heroes don't need to be recognized.
There were a lot of conversation about heroes and like masculinity kind of in it too, and what we think of as it and how it's portrayed in movies and books. So there's a lot of talk about like hero type of movies like Rambo, Rocky movies, Star Wars, things like that. And there's some, and the government kind of is involved too. So there is some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Just not enough for me to start the next book right away.
Okay.
But on that note, interesting. After watching Half Bad, I decided to start the series because now I need to know what happens.
Right.
And already the series is much different or the book is much different from the television series. When you meet the character Nathan in the book, you really pick up his life when he's, I think it's like 12 or 13, maybe even a little bit younger. And you follow him. I'm about 40-ish% in, and you're following him through the years. He's now, I think, 15 or 16.
Okay.
Or 14 or 15, actually. And you're just kind of getting to the majority of what started happening in the books. He has a much tougher life in the book than he does in the television series. Being a half-blood. Well, I guess so. Yeah, he is a half-blood.
That's what's called half bad. Because he could
Right.
be half bad.
No, but half-blood is from Harry Potter.
That's mudblood.
Mudblood, dirty blood, whatever. He's half-half. A lot happens to him because of that. He's treated very differently, and there is a council of Fairborn witches who sets these kind of like laws into place, and you find that they make a lot of laws to contain him. So really, really good. I'm excited to read this and read this trilogy and see what happens after the TV show.
Great. I'm going to start by saying I want to be a little bit better with Goodreads and actually writing out like reviews, like keep them simple. Because I like reading those, and usually I rate them by stars, but I'd like to add a little bit more going forward. So
good for you. We're going to hold you to that.
Yeah, hold me to that. Because I would like to say, so I finished The Raven Spell by Luann G. Smith. I talked about this in the last podcast. I hadn't started it yet, or I had just started it. There's 2 books in the series. I am not reading the second one. The first one was okay. I didn't find it... I really didn't find it like super intriguing. It was kind of like a mystery. You're trying to figure out who... like what happens in kind of like a whodunit, and there's a missing person. I didn't feel like it was predictable, but I felt like they were reaching for straws when it came to who the big bad was. Like, you know, the romance kind of came out of nowhere. I think the magic system seemed pretty cool. I wish that they had developed that a little bit more. The premise is really, it takes place in early 1900 England, and so I think the author does a good job developing like the
world,
the universe, the world, but I think there's a lot to be desired when it comes to the interactions between the characters. It just didn't hold my interest so much, and I found myself being like, oh, I just can't wait to finish this. What am I going to read next? Mm-hmm. Not like, oh, I can't wait to finish this so I can move on to the second one and find out what happens to this group of people. But I just didn't. By the end, it was way rushed, I thought, in my opinion, and just not my favorite. So I am, however, reading, based on a recommendation from TikTok, I'm reading the Books of Babel series by Josiah Bancroft. The first one is called Senlin Ascends. It sounds really interesting. A lot of people know what the Tower of Babel is, but the concept on this one is, I don't know if it's an alternate world yet, if it's Earth at a different time period, or where we are really on the timeline or location, except for the fact that the Tower of Babel is a real place, and it's obviously humongous, and you can't even see the top of it because there are clouds around it. There are airships here. There's some technologies that we don't have right now, but it feels old-fashioned. And it's a couple. The main character is his last name is Senlin. I can't remember what his first name is at the very moment, so I haven't gotten super far into it. But basically, this couple goes on honeymoon together to the Tower of Babel. He's a headmaster at a school, and he counts himself as a very interested person in the Tower of Babel, and has this handbook when you visit the Tower of Babel, what you can expect, and he's using that kind of like as his guide for when he gets there. And he teaches his students a little bit about the tower as well, based on reports. Anyway, they get there. Obviously everybody wants to be at this place, so there are crowds everywhere. There's a marketplace that just is constantly like humming, and you know, people are tethered together by ropes because they don't want to lose each other. He didn't get that memo in his handbook, so his wife stepped away to look at a dress, and he said, okay, I'll wait right here by the socks, and she disappears. And so hours go by. There's so many people. They get separated, can't find, no idea where she is. And so I think the premise of the book is him going into the Tower of Babel and working his way up the entire tower. Each level is called a ringdom because it's circular, and each level is like its own world, basically. So one world you might have like gangsters and different things like that. Another world is like bathhouses and, you know, different things. There might be some magic. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't gotten very far. But it sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
It's basically going to be him progressing through the Tower of Babel, entering these new worlds to try to find his wife. So the person that I saw on TikTok, and I can't remember who it was just some random TikTok video, went through his top books of 2022, and this was his highest rated series, and said that he's, you know, he loved the world building and the characters and everything, which I really feel like I needed that. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So far, I like it. I like the writing style, and I will let you all know.
Cool beans.
Yeah, and if you've read it, let me know what you thought down below.
All right, and I think that is everything. So,
and thank goodness the heat just kicked back on.
I turned it
on.
on.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm like freezing right now.
Yeah. So thank you guys for spending some time with us today.
Yeah, it was lovely.
We will.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a good 2 weeks. Enjoy your crafting. Don't forget about the new to you, Mal.
Thank you. Yep.
And we will see you guys in a fortnight. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.